Hello and welcome back to another episode of Spare Time Gardening with me, Simon. And today I'm in the compass. Well, today is always an exciting moment in the gardening year because I'm going to sow the very first seeds of the season. But what makes this extra special is that these seeds aren't just any seeds. These are the ones I saved from last year. Now, saving seeds is one of my favourite parts of gardening. It's such a rewarding process, knowing that these tiny little things carry the history of last season's plants and the promise of a brand new growing year. It's also a great way to keep the cycle going, save money, and grow plants that have already adapted to the conditions down here in my Hampshire garden. So, in this video, I'll take you through the process, what I'm sowing, and a few tips to give them the best possible start. If you're thinking about saving your own seeds or just love that fresh start feeling of a new gardening season, then stick around and let's get sowing. And as always, enjoy. So, this is now the 16th of February and I'm going to start sowing in my southern garden, or for my southern garden. So this is a gift that we were given. So it's a grow pot, like its own little mini greenhouse. It's got grow lights and a USB connector, so it all lights up, so we're going to give that a go this time. The seeds I'm going to sow are my own saved tomatoes. Sun cherry seeds, that's the variety. I want to sow some crocosmia, again my own saved seeds. In fact, all these are my own saved. Red dahlia, so these were a beautiful red dahlia flower that was in the garden, so I've saved the seed from that. And as I've done in previous videos, I'm going to sow some fuchsia seeds. So this is from one of my purple varieties. I don't know the name, I just know it's a hardy variety. I've had it for years and years, but I've saved some seeds from that one. And then also a mixed variety of fuchsia. As you'll see in previous videos, I've saved seeds before and successfully grown some hybrids. So I'm going to see what happens with these. So we're going to sow fuchsia, red dahlia, some crocosmia, and the first sowing of our vegetables, which will be the tomatoes sun cherry. So we'll pop it into these cells, and then we're going to put them in these little mini greenhouses. I'm going to leave them in the house because the temperature is quite warm and we've got no heat in the greenhouse outside down in Hampshire. But we'll see how these go and then keep watching to see progress. So I'll show you what I do and how to sow these seeds. Well, I thought I'd also tell you as well as the compost I'm using. So I'm going to use Verve Seed and Cutting Compost from B&Q. I think it was just a £5 a bag for 10 litres. Got some multi-purpose to pot on. This is just a small bag. I think actually it's 20 litres. Not a bad bag actually from Asda. I've had Asda multi-purpose compost before, it's been fine. That was £2.50 a bag. They currently do, I think it's 50 litres, or it might be 40 litres actually. And they're doing 3 for £12 currently. So if you've got a local Asda, might be worth getting your composting ready ahead of the growing season. Anyway, let's get back to sowing these seeds. So, first things first is to put your compost into your seed tray. I'll put this bag down just so I don't, because I'm doing it indoors, I want to get it all over the carpet. The advantage of using seed compost is that it's much finer and less nutrients than your multi-purpose, which is ideal for when you're sowing seeds. A multi-purpose can be too thick. You can also have too many nutrients in there, so you're better off with a seed sowing compost. Well, that's what I've found in my experience. If you've tried multi-purpose, you've had really good results and you think that's better, then that's the advantage of And the benefit of gardening, you know, do what works for you. Not necessarily any right or wrong. So in this first seed tray, I'm going to sow some tomatoes and some crocosmia. I'm going to use the same one, but I've got my labels, so don't forget to write on your labels. But I'm going to do 6 tomato. Down in our Hampshire garden, we normally just put them in a mini greenhouse, and we normally just have 3 plants. So if we go with 6, then you've got some spares as a bit of an insurance policy in case any don't take. With a crocosmia, these are quite large seeds, I'll show you in a second. And in these cells, I'm going to put 3 seeds in each cell, because then you can clump together. And those are going to go in the garden this year, assuming that we get some success. So I'll just use one of these. In fact, I'll use the pencil as a little dibber, just make a little hole. Just going to drop the tomato seeds in. I'll make 3 holes in there, one for the crocosmia. Those are larger seeds, as I say. I'll show you those in a second. Just going to make some holes to drop them in. And like I said, we're going to try these new mini greenhouses. I think that's might be what you call them, with grow lights as well. So this is the tomato, first of all. This is just from a tomato from the greenhouse, from my own plant that was grown last season. Hopefully you can see these, but these are individual seeds. We just want 6. And what I'll do is I'll do the same in our northern garden, so keep watching, because in the future video we'll be sowing those for my northern garden up in South Yorkshire. But those need to be sown a little bit later because the climates are different. You know, it's a little bit warmer down south than it is up north. So I'm just going to gently pull these seeds off. So if I just take one, doesn't matter if you get a bit of kitchen roll with it. I thought I got that seed then. Oh, here it is, stuck. Like I said, it doesn't matter if you get a kitchen roll with it, it's only paper. So I'll just put one in my hand there. Hopefully you can see that, just a tiny little tomato seed. And I'm just going to drop that into the cell, like so. So I want 6 of those. That's 2. The advantage of buying, the advantage of saving your own seed is it does save you having to buy fresh seed. And if it's a variety that you particularly like, so for me, I enjoy the crop that I get from the sun cherry. I also enjoy the taste. So if it's a particular variety that you like, then why buy seed every year when you can successfully save your own? So here we go, that's 6 seeds. Like I said, I'll save the rest of these to sow later in the northern garden. So put those back in the envelope. That's 6 seeds in there. Don't forget that with any seed sowing you need to water. What I'm going to do with these is I'm going to water from the bottom, because I've got holes at the bottom. I'll stand them in fact, if I show you, so it stands in a little tray like this, so I can fill this with water, sit them in it, and it'll soak up into the soil, and you're not going to disturb the seed on top. So that's the tomatoes. Let me show you the crocosmia. So this is from the flower head of a crocosmia, and the seeds are inside. So if I just gently squeeze these out, just move them around my fingers, and what you'll see, if I move that out of the way, that's a seed head. And those are the seeds. Slightly bigger, certainly bigger than the tomato. I'm going to do 3 per cell. My dad had real success with these the other year. Saved his own seeds and grew his own, of which these are from those plants. So he grew them from seed, gave them to me. That's what you'll see if you look at any of the videos. My northern garden, you see the crocosmia. That was from seeds that my dad had saved and grew. So I'm hopeful we have the same success. So let's put in 3 in each cell. So I made 3 holes per cell, and then just drop 1 into each hole that I made. Like I said, just from 1 flower head, hundreds of seeds really, more than I need. But I'm going to do the same again for my northern garden. So there's all the seeds in there, just gently firm them in, cover them up. And with Crocosmia, you can actually sow these any time of year. You don't have to wait until the start of a season. You can sow them anytime. So, tomato and Crocosmia. So, as I mentioned before, don't forget to label. Otherwise you'll not know what you've sown. So on tomato, I'm just going to put Sun Cherry. That's the variety. On the back I'll put the date that I sowed them, which is the 16th of February 2025. I can go in there. And again with this one, this is Crocosmia. And then again the same, sown on the 16th February 25. That can go in there. And that's my first one sown. So now we're going to do some fuchsias and some dahlias. So this is prepared now for the for the dahlias. So again, another tray, 12 cells, 12 holes. And again, these are from the red dahlia plant that I love the flower on. So we're going to see if we have success with this. I'll just show you what these seeds look like. Spread them out a little bit. So there you go. Those are the seeds of a dahlia. So I'm going to put 1 in each cell. Just drop them in. If you can make the fatter end go to the bottom, that's the bottom of it, but most seeds generally rectify themselves. It doesn't really matter which way you drop them in. Let's just put 1 in each cell. I've also saved a mixed variety. So, again from flowers that I like, from a dahlia perspective, and then save the seeds of those. So again, you can save your own seeds, and it won't come true to form. The only way you would get that is from a cutting. But this is how you get different varieties, different colours, different forms, because they've been pollinated by from different flowers. So this is how they get hybrids. And I just think it's quite fun. So we should have got those seeds put in. Not sure if that one didn't make it in the hole. And again, we'll do the same. We'll put them in the tray, and then see what happens. Caesar dahlias. Again, the date. That one can go in there. And then we'll do the same with the fuchsias. But the fuchsias, these are tiny seeds. I'll show you those in a second. But the seeds of a fuchsia are almost like dust. So I'm going to do a few in each cell. Where I'm going to do the 2 varieties and see what happens. So these are the fuchsia. This is from a variety in the garden. And as I said, these are on kitchen roll, but these are just like dust, if you can see them. Just like dust-like. So I'm going to sprinkle a few onto each one. And the hardy ones are exactly the same. So if I try and shake some of these off into my hand, if I can. There we go. So if you just have a look, like I said, there's just sat in the crease there. It's really difficult for you to see. But I'm going to tap these onto the top of the soil. And then those on there. Just a few per. But because they're so fine, you don't need to make a hole. These will just find their own way in. I think I'll put quite a few on there. And then you don't need to cover these. What you'll do is when you water it, it'll just soak in the bottom. They need a bit of light to germinate as well, in my experience. So that's the hardy purple variety. And this is a mixed variety, but these are already in. Again, quite dust-like, I think. Or was that from those? Actually, that's from that one. These are the hardy purple variety. Just try and. There you go. And if you look at these are a bit paler, but still like dust. So again, the same sort of thing. I just shake them off my hand onto the top of the soil. And because these are from that hardy variety, these may well be hardy, depending on what they've been pollinated with. But we won't know until they grow. And then if you look at some of the previous videos I've done, look through the how to hybridize fuchsias, and you'll see there was all sorts of varieties I got. There were some that were really bushy, some that got more flowers on, some that were a bit more upright, some didn't have any flowers. So every seed is different, but that's what makes it interesting and exciting. So if you want to try something new, then I highly recommend it. So these are fuchsias. So let's just label. I'll put this one as the, I should put hardy because I know which one that is. Again, the date 16th of Feb 25. So that was the hardy variety over here. And then the other one, and then the date again. But who knows what variety you'll get. Whether there'll be lots of flowers, no flowers, bushy, upright, who knows. But they're labelled now. Stick them in a pot, water them, stick them in these little mini greenhouses, and then keep watching. I'll keep you posted, and then probably in about a month's time I'll do the same up north, because that's a little bit behind in terms of the season. Not wired the lights up yet, but they're now in their little greenhouses. The lights on top, just what's plugging in. They're all sat in a bit of water to soak up, then ready to start growing. And we'll keep you posted on progress. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button. And please feel free to leave your comments and feedback below. I'd love to hear from you, so don't be shy, and of course I'll reply. See you soon.